fearing widespread violence in their home country. More than 600,000 Syrians have fled into neighboring Jordan since 2011. While around 100,000 of these Syrians moved into refugee camps, the rest found shelter in largely urban areas around the capital Amman and the northern governorates of Mafraq and Irbid. As well as straining Jordan's limited resources and infrastructure, the arrival of the refugees also sharply increased competition for already scarce jobs and forced more children into tiring and potentially hazardous work. An international labor organization survey on the impact of the influx of Syrian refugees on the Jordanian labor market found that unemployment has increased among both Syrian refugees and Jordanians since 2011. Furthermore, almost all the refugees and about half of the Jordanians surveyed worked in informal employment. About 4,000 households of Syrian refugees and Jordanians from host communities in Amman, Irbid, and Mafraq were interviewed in 2014 for the survey. Out of this sample, the rate of male labor force participation among Jordanians stood at 66%, while among Syrian refugees, it stood at 50%. The rate of female labor force participation among Jordanians was 18% and 7% among female Syrian refugees. Of Syrian refugees in host communities interviewed, 41% said they currently work in construction, and about 23% said they work in wholesale and retail. About 15% of Jordanians said they made less than 200 Jordanian dinars a month, and as many as 44% of Syrian refugees working outside camps said they made less than 200 Jordanian dinars a month. The ILO is helping the Jordanian government set up an employment-rich national response to the crisis, which aims to encourage the development of local ownership, help create decent work opportunities, and enhance regulations and policies relating to the status of Syrian workers in the labor market. The ILO is using its employment and livelihood expertise to support the Jordanian government and other UN and international organizations to better aid host communities. Joint efforts are underway to strengthen institutional capacity and coordination efforts to combat unacceptable forms of work, particularly child labor. The ILO conducted twin studies on working children in the informal and agricultural sectors. A significant number of children were found to be working up to 8 hours a day under difficult and often hazardous conditions to help support their families. Syrian refugee children were revealed to be particularly vulnerable. The Jordanian government and the ILO have launched an awareness-raising campaign on the implications of hiring children. They are also working together to review the inspection strategy of the Ministry of Labor's Inspectorate Department and extend its referral processes to working Syrian children. A series of initiatives have been launched to build the resilience of host communities and ease employment challenges within them. These include conducting value chain analysis with local committees in Mafraq's tomato sector and Irbid's olive sector. This analysis focuses on the subsectors that are most relevant for job creation and job quality improvement, everything from the type of equipment they use to how they advertise and promote their products. Helping the government and the private sector forge closer ties in an effort to introduce more business-friendly measures. Supporting employment agencies and school career counselors to improve their skills and practices, as well as supporting young people in starting up their own small-scale businesses through training programs. The ILO is currently expanding its efforts to work with local partners in boosting economic development efforts, support business growth through working with existing enterprises and startup businesses and attracting businesses that add value to local economies, improve business infrastructure and technology, work with employment services to improve employment opportunities for the unemployed and new job seekers, empower the community through engaging target communities and households in productive economic opportunities. The ILO believes that through its interventions to support refugees and host communities, it can contribute to preserving national, social, and economic stability.